You are not here right now. You are either somewhere in the past, replaying a conversation, a wound, a moment that no longer exists, or you are somewhere in the future, rehearsing a disaster, chasing a version of your life that has not happened yet. Right now, in this moment, as these words reach you, where are you actually? Be honest, because what I am about to tell you is not about time management. It is not about productivity or morning routines or 5 a.m. wake-ups. It is about something far darker. It is about why most people never truly arrive at their own lives. 2,000 years ago, a Roman philosopher sat down and wrote a letter. He had wealth, power, a seat at the most influential court in the world. And yet the letter begins with something so urgent it reads like a warning written to someone standing at the edge of a cliff. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a great deal of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements, if it were all well invested. But when it is wasted in heedless luxury and spent on no good activity, we are forced at last by death's final constraint to realize that it has passed away before we knew it was passing. Seneca once said, "On the shortness of life." Lucius Annaeus Seneca, writing in 49 AD, describing you in 2026 with a precision that should be unsettling. He was not talking about lazy people. He was not talking about people who do nothing. He was talking about busy people, distracted people, people who fill every hour and still arrive at the end of the day feeling like nothing real happened. Does that feel familiar? There is a woman I want you to imagine. She is 43 years old. She is standing at her mother's grave on a Tuesday afternoon in November. It is raining, and the thought that breaks her, the thought she cannot stop, is not grief. It is not loss. It is this. I do not remember the last time I was fully present with her. Not a full conversation, not an hour without her phone, not a single meal where she was not already elsewhere. Her mother had been alive for 81 years, and she had been absent for most of them, not physically, in every other way. That woman is not a character I invented. She is a composite of every account psychologists have gathered when they ask people near the end of their lives what they most regret. The answer, almost universally, is not what they did. It is all the moments they were present for, but were not actually there. What the woman at the grave experienced has a name in clinical psychology. It is called temporal self-location disorder, the chronic inability to inhabit the present tense, and it is not a rare pathology. According to research by Harvard psychologists Matthew Killingsworth and Daniel Gilbert, the human mind wanders from what it is actually doing 47% of the time. Nearly half of your waking life is spent somewhere other than where you are. And here is the detail that makes it devastating. Their research found that mind wandering, regardless of where the mind goes, is consistently associated with lower happiness than being present. Even when people were thinking about pleasant things, even daydreaming about something good, still less happy than the person focused entirely on washing the dishes. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer diagnosed this with a brutality that modern science has only recently confirmed. We seldom think of what we have, but always of what we lack. Therefore, rather than grateful, we are bitter. The mind does not wander into gratitude. It wanders into deficiency, into what is missing, what has not arrived, what was lost. And the more you practice this wandering, the more automatic it becomes, until the present moment is not a place you ever actually live. It is just the loading screen between one thought about the past and one anxiety about the future. You are alive, but you are not living. And the distance between those two things is the whole of the tragedy. If something in this is landing, don't lose this thread. Subscribe now. This channel exists to give you conversations like this one every week, one click before the moment passes. William Blake, the English poet and mystic, wrote something in 1793 that sounds simple until you sit with it. If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. The doors of perception. Blake was not speaking metaphorically about drugs or mystical states. He was speaking about attention. The idea is this: reality, at full resolution, is overwhelming in its richness. The texture of a single leaf, the exact weight of someone's voice when they are trying not to cry, the particular quality of light in a room at 5 in the afternoon in winter. All of it is there, all of it is available. But the wandering mind, the mind lost in yesterday and tomorrow, has its doors closed. and so it lives in a smaller, flatter, grayer version of the only world it will ever be given. The Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh spent decades teaching what he called interbeing, the radical recognition that every moment is complete in itself, inseparable from everything it contains. He wrote, "The present moment is the only moment available to us, and it is the door to all moments. The door to all moments. Not an escape from the past, not a preparation for the future, the only actual place where both of those exist, because memory lives now, and anticipation lives now. The present is not the enemy of time, it is the only container time has ever had." And Meister Eckhart, the 13th century German mystic whose ideas were so radical the church threatened him with heresy, said it with the compression of someone who had genuinely seen through the veil. The present moment always will have been. Read that again. The present moment always will have been. This moment, right now, is already permanent. Whatever you do with it, it will always have happened. The question is not whether it will exist. The question is whether you will have been in it. So how do you come back? Not permanently, where that is not realistic, but genuinely, repeatedly, with skill. Here are 3 practices rooted in the psychology and philosophy we just covered. Practice 1. The return, not the stay. Stop trying to maintain continuous presence. It is neurologically impossible, and the attempt creates more anxiety than it relieves. Instead, practice the return. Every time you notice your mind has wandered, into regret, into worry, into the performance of your life, rather than the living of it, simply come back. No judgment, no frustration, just notice and return. Presence is not a state you hold, it is a direction you keep choosing. The practice is not the staying, the practice is the coming back. Practice 2. The sensory anchor. Seneca knew what neuroscience has confirmed. The wandering mind cannot be argued back into the present. It must be pulled back through the body. Choose one sense, once per hour, for 30 seconds. What do you hear right now, specifically? Not noise. The exact pitch of it, the direction. What does the surface beneath your hands actually feel like? The body is always in the present. It cannot be anywhere else. When the mind is lost, the body is the door back. I want to return to the woman at the grave, because the story does not end there. After the funeral, she drove home in silence. She made tea. She sat at the kitchen table, and for the first time in years, she did not pick up her phone. She just sat, with the particular weight of the afternoon, with the sound of rain, with the ache of everything that could not be recovered. And in that sitting, in that grief-cracked, wide-open silence, she was more present than she had been in a decade. It took a loss to open the door. It does not have to take a loss for you. Seneca wrote his warning from comfort, not catastrophe. Blake saw the infinite in ordinary light. Eckhart found eternity in a single moment, not in a lifetime of searching. The present is not somewhere you have to travel to. It is the only place you have ever actually been. You just keep leaving it. And today, right now, after this video, you can simply choose not to. So I want to ask you, what is the moment in your life that you were physically present for, but were not actually there? And what would it have meant to be? Leave it in the comments. Not for me, for yourself, because writing it is the first act of returning.